This is one of those heavy situations I don't usually like to talk about. I usually aim for the goofier stories where we just kind of point and laugh at some clownery and some general dog shittery that's going on around the internet. But the situation that's happening with Amouranth is an extremely serious one, and it is one that I'd like to talk about since I've seen some of the worst takes all of humanity's ever concocted surrounding this. Now, for those that don't know, if you haven't been on Twitter today, a lot of clips have been surfacing from Amouranth's stream from last night where she went live, well, she was already live, but she unmuted during an argument with her husband over the phone. And this troglodyte sounds like an absolutely unhinged maniac. I watched the entire VOD to get the full context surrounding this entire situation, and I can say with a high level of confidence that this is an actual abusive lunatic. Now, before getting into the clips, I want to make it known that I'm basing that on more than just the phone call argument. Obviously, anyone with ears is going to reach the same conclusion because he comes across extremely abusive in the phone calls as well. But she goes further, showing some of the damage he's done to the house in fits of rage. For instance, she said she locked herself in her room one time, and in response he kicked the door in, and shows the damage to the door, how it's all fucked up, it's now missing like the hinge and everything, and then shows damage to a nearby wall, and then also shows text messages that she received from him, threatening to financially ruin them because she wasn't replying to him fast enough. Now, last quick note before getting into the clips, I'm not Amouranth's PR manager. I'm not here to change your mind if you don't like her or her content, but you need to accept that just because you don't like someone's content, that doesn't mean that they're deserving of treatment like this. Abuse isn't okay in any circumstance. Just because you might not be a fan of her doesn't mean that you can like wiggle your finger and celebrate that she's miserable or something. That's so fucked up. I've already seen a ton of disgusting worms blaming her for all of this and being happy that she's being abused because they're not a fan of her streams or the fact she has an OnlyFans. It's absolutely fucking despicable shit.
Exactly. Because I'm gonna let you say what you think you heard. But then I'm gonna say what I thought I said. But you cannot interrupt mine because I'm not gonna interrupt you.
What are you saying? Why did you say you were gonna kill my dogs?
Leave the house.
Okay, I can leave the. You know what? Actually, I shouldn't leave the house because my dogs are here.
We'll take the dogs and leave.
The man's voice you're hearing on the phone that sounds like a 9-year-old getting his balls squeezed at the doctor during a physical with that helium high screaming, screeching voice, that's her husband, and he's melting down over an argument they had earlier. And I'm going to tell you what it's about, but you're not going to believe me. I watched the whole VOD and I can confirm, based on everything I've seen here, this argument was because she didn't hear something he said. That simple. So he had asked her a question, she didn't hear it, and said, I didn't know you asked a question, basically. She said that, oh, you didn't ask me that question, but he believed he did. So her saying, you didn't ask me that, he took as a personal insult, and it led to this massive blow-up. That's what started this whole thing. Because she didn't fully hear the question, so didn't know what was asked. And in response to that, in order to prove a point, he threatened to kill her dogs. Totally reasonable thing from a rational person. I'll go ahead and play his side of that statement.
Why are you pausing? You didn't ask a question. You said a statement. Did you say that? No?
I tried to tell you
Are
what
you
I
saying you
heard.
did not say that? Are you saying you did not say that?
I tried to tell you what I heard from you. And then you called me a liar.
Then you tell me, what did you say? No, I did. I said it on purpose. I said it to show you how easily distracted you are. There was no condition. You're lying.
What?
You're literally lying to me. I said this. Stop. I said, you're going to tell me what you said? And if you lie or interrupt my part, I'm going to kill your dogs. That's exactly what I said.
So Big Bang Theory over here hatched the genius idea, a galaxy brain scheme, to prove that she wasn't hearing everything he said. He then threatened her dog's life. His whole chess master checkmating move here was, I'm going to threaten your dogs because I know you're going to focus on that as opposed to the other stuff I've said. You know, the same response everyone would have, right? Oh, you're not listening to me? I'm gonna go kill your dogs. Oh, well, you heard that? Weird. You know, like, how dumb can you be? This man is just an actual psychopath. Obviously, she's gonna focus on the thing where you're threatening her dog's life out of nowhere. He was upset because she didn't hear the question and then instead said you didn't ask it. If he ever even asked it in the first place, you know, there's no telling for sure. I wasn't fucking there. I wasn't a fly on the wall. But he's mad because she didn't hear the question. And then in order to prove his point that she just didn't hear the question, he threatens her dog's life to show her that she focuses on emotionally distressing things more than his other statements. That's, you fucking dummy. Everyone's gonna be focusing on emotionally distressing things when it's a goddamn threat.
And I said that because I knew when I say that, instantly, you forget what you said and what I said. Both.
Why do you have to say you're gonna kill my dog? What does that help anything?
Because, stop. Zoom out. Because you weren't understanding my point.
What? What are you even talking about? You brought up the dogs out of nowhere.
Exactly.
So what point is it improving?
See? You're proving my point right now.
What? I'm asking you to... I don't even understand what you're saying to me.
I know. That's my point.
This man really thinks he's smart. You can tell just by the way he carries himself in this conversation. He really thinks he's some intellectually enlightened being who just found atheism for the first time on Reddit or something. Like, this guy talks like the most pretentious douchebag you'll ever hear. As if his point is the only ever accurate one, and he's so benevolent, he even talks about how he's forgiven her for not hearing him sometimes. Like, what a saint. But I want to quickly address something a lot of people keep bringing up, the sub-5 IQ take of, well, she shouldn't have aired this publicly. Alright, Dr. Phil, Jesus Christ, let's tackle that for a moment. Let's go over the reasons why she might want to air this publicly. This man has access to all of her accounts. He has all of her passwords, and in this conversation even threatens to make fake tweets to ruin her career, and even goes as far as to typing them up, but doesn't hit send. She is basically his prisoner, because she has tried to go to authorities, at least based on everything I've seen in this VOD, and she has recorded other conversations, but in response, she had her shit broken by him and had her phones taken away by him.
Literally got physical with me. And then, like, fucking tried to take my phones away because he was gonna destroy my PC when I recorded it. Now he's just trying to say bullshit because he knows he fucked up. He just admitted he was lying. Fucking asshole.
So she tried gathering evidence on her own. It was destroyed. She tried calling the police. Apparently that didn't go super well either because he took her phones away. Like, what the fuck else is she supposed to do? I think this was a very good course of action here, and publicly airs it all out so that way this can help her in her case in getting away from him. Now, he didn't know this was being streamed, obviously. He was under the impression she had stepped away to take the phone call, but she came back after, I'm guessing, the threats against her dogs, and just unmuted and did it publicly. And I do think it was a good, I think it was a good decision.
I have the tweet drafted. I'm just gonna send it now.
What are you sending?
The false fucking swatting of your husband, and then having your fucking assistant do it too.
You literally tried to take my phone. I got scared because you got physical, and I called.
Yeah, but I'm tweeting it now, so good
But
luck.
so you're lying on my Twitter. That's gonna look real good.
Sure, whatever. I don't care. I'm tweeting it.
You're...
I'm Amouranth's assistant, or I'm Amouranth's husband, and she is swatting me and calling the cops and calling it a false abuse claim.
I didn't say you abused me. I called the cops because you literally were on top of me trying to take my phones from me. You're literally just lying on my Twitter.
Yeah, I don't care. I built Twitter.
Yeah, you used my body to build this empire.
And I'm gonna get your OnlyFans banned too.
So here he is admitting that he was just going to lie about a story to ruin her career and then get her OnlyFans banned as well. So you can clearly see that he had access to all of her shit. And a lot was revealed here. The reason why Amouranth wasn't more public about her marriage is because he didn't let her.
I've been wanting to tell people that, like, let's just stream together. Just tell them that we're fucking married. Because it's like, our relationship would be better if we just stream them. And it's fighting all the time. But no, mister, don't say that because it's going to ruin the business model. It's not time yet. Fuck yourself. I'm done with it.
The reason why she started doing hot tub streams and committing the hot tub streams is because he forced her to. So a lot of this shit came out about how awful of a person this guy is and how controlling and how scummy and shitty he is.
It's literally, I was waiting for a response. You were just calling me crazy then.
I didn't say you were crazy.
No. Dude, I'm gonna give you one last chance. I'm gonna irrevocably fucking destroy everything. I can tell you something that shatters you forever, and I'll start tweeting about it, too.
But what? Why would you want to do that? I don't understand you.
Because you are literally telling me I did not say something that I literally said.
That should be okay to let me...
You're just... Right here, I'm gonna tell you right now, dude. You're about to lose your entire fucking life in terms of everything that's been built because you're too obstinate to just merely accept that you didn't hear a thing. But I'm already very forgiving about that.
This man is so insecure, sensitive, and embarrassing that he just keeps believing that because she said you didn't say that, he is taking it as an insult against his intelligence and he won't stand for it. He believes that she is calling him crazy. And she might not be calling him crazy, but I, as well as everyone else who has seen these clips, is. This man is fucking unhinged. He is crazy. This man is nuts. And he's downright dangerous, I would say. To be threatening the lives of his dogs, also makes threats against our horses about how he's going to sell them to meat packaging plants or some shit. Like, the man is not a safe person to be around. Now, one other thing I'd like to get into before showing some more clips is the brain-rotted take that keeps floating around about how this is all manufactured drama and it's fake for the sake of exposure and clout for Amouranth. And I understand why people like to take everything with a grain of salt. I think it's a very good thing to always really try and hyper-analyze everything to make sure that what you're getting is legitimate, which is why I'm so surprised that after doing that, people still arrived at the conclusion that it's fake. You'd have to be clinically stupid to think that this is fake, because in order to reach that conclusion, you'd have to ask yourself, why is it fake? What would be the goal? What would Amouranth gain from this? And let's break that thought process down. Why would she fake it? She's already reached like the pinnacle of internet success. She makes over $2 million a month from streaming and OnlyFans. Like that doesn't even count like merch or anything. So she's making plenty of money, so she doesn't need money, so that wouldn't be a reason. She doesn't need exposure because she's one of the most popular streamers on Twitch and most popular OnlyFans models, so that probably wouldn't make any sense. So why would it be fake? There's nothing to gain. There's only things to lose because now it's public that she's married. So that would be a detriment. Even though it's something she wanted to share, there are those delusional weirdos who believed that by donating money to her, they'd get to date her. Like, that's obvious. So this coming out doesn't help her in any way. There'd be no reason why she'd fake this for anything because she has nothing to gain from it. It's just a nonsensical take from people that clearly haven't thought about it for even an iota of a second.
Man, we're in the house now. It's like, the next time when I say plan, do it. Dumb fuck, do you understand? Like, what Plain talking about? It's like, fuck this, I'm calling you. So I disappeared from stream. Take a call. So I can't, I'm gonna tell them I can't talk right now. We're getting Wi-Fi. I don't care. You get the call now. Last chance. About to dump your luggage. You know, from my hotel room. But throwing your stupid merch off the balcony. Proceeding to ditch your stuff. You don't need the makeup or the live view, like the stream epic. Or the clothes, huh? Deleting social media in 1 minute. Buying options that expire and blasting the cash. About to shut down bank account, your bank account too. Lag is terrible, stream is garbage. It's like, about to delete Twitter in 30 seconds. If you don't call me, my phone's literally off, right? I'm just like, it literally died. Gonna donate $250,000 to Polo Missy. It's like a bird sanctuary he likes. In the next 2 minutes, $250K gone. We'll donate.
Pretty alarming stuff here. Just look at these texts. The man is draining their finances faster than a crypto bro investing in the latest shitcoin. Just blasting all their money down the drain. Just fucking shitting it away. Because she wasn't replying to him in a reasonable time. It should be obvious that this isn't healthy behavior from a sane individual. But if you need more evidence of that, let's go later into her stream where she starts showing some of the house itself and some of the damage that he's caused.
Script of L-U-T-H. You know what you are.
I would lock my door, but he broke that too. So,
Best advice I can give
that was
during
the
my
day
divorce
that
my
he
grandma
fucking
gave.
took the
This
the
too
phone
shall
from
pass.
Me, both phones from me. And so I ran in here to call the cops, and he literally kicked the door in and broke, like, this doesn't even have a hinge anymore.
What an absolute nightmare. And you want to know what's really sick about the whole thing? There are people saying that she absolutely deserves it because she does OnlyFans. Can you believe how fucked up that is? And also, a lot of the things people shit on Amouranth for, like pretending to be single to get money from simps or whatever, isn't even her idea, apparently. It's her husband, who is controlling every aspect of her life, it seems. He has access to all of her accounts. He's the one who comes up with her schedule and tells her what to do on stream and all of that. So a lot of the things that she gets shit on is actually her husband doing it, making her do it. And yet Amouranth is the one that has to roll with all the punches. And then once she turns off stream after being insulted all day by a ton of people, she then has her husband insulting her and yelling and screaming at her. Fucking unbelievable. The set of circumstances here are so incredibly sad. Like, just genuinely awful. And the stream ends in a really concerning way. I'll go ahead and play the ending of the stream to you.
Hello? Hey. I haven't gotten any calls. What are you talking about? Why would you ask if I'm taking
This is a scene right out of a horror movie. The doors slowly opening up behind her, someone off camera asking if she's taken her medication. I believe it's her assistant. But even Amouranth is confused, like, why are you asking about the medication? You know, like, that's irrelevant to everything. So the assistant knew what was going on here, and for some reason asked about her taking medication, I guess implying that, you know, maybe she's having, like, some kind of mental breakdown. But that's a fucked up thing to even insinuate, because she's not having just some, like, mental breakdown. Her husband is yelling and screaming at her over an extremely minor issue and threatening to ruin her entire career over it. And making threats against her dogs and her horses. Like, this isn't just some mental breakdown kind of thing where she, you know, she's off her meds, so now she's crazy. Like, her husband has made a massive fucking threat, not only to her career, but the things she cares about. It's a very serious thing that most people would respond to in the same way. She's just doing it live, probably because she felt like she was out of other options. So I think it's a really weird thing for her assistant to ask. And the door opening behind her, I think, is eerie. I think that is scary. She hasn't posted since this has happened. Hopefully everything's okay, but no one knows as of right now. But I think this is an extremely important situation to talk about because for some reason, people are dismissing it as no big deal, which blows my mind. Like, this is a legitimate case of abuse on stream here. And I don't know why people aren't saying it as such. Granted, most people are, but there still is a community of people that still think it's not an issue and that it's her fault. Why is she staying with an abuser? You know, she brought this on herself. If you're in a toxic relationship, just leave. All things spoken by people that have never even felt the touch of another human being. The absolute worst takes imaginable. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit. That's about it. So yep. The desire for internet clout is an irresistible urge, an itch that must be scratched by any means necessary, including faking good deeds for the sake of the camera. I'm sure you've probably already seen what I'm about to talk about today since it went very viral. It's that couple that made dirty, stinky ramen in the back of their pickup truck and drove it around to feed the homeless. But it's clearly a fake staged video in order to make themselves look like saints, and they only drive it to one person who's a friend of theirs that's pretending to be homeless. It's pathetic. It's not meant as a joke, it's not meant to be satirical. This was clearly trying to capitalize off, like, a wholesome moment to get popularity. They were too lazy and couldn't even be bothered to do an actual good deed for someone in need, so instead they just faked the whole thing and wasted a ton of food in the process, like a ton of ramen. They started dumping in random ingredients like they were Professor Utonium trying to make the Powerpuff Girls, so they start fucking plopping in pounds of onion powder and all kinds of other shit. I wouldn't be surprised if they also started dumping in, like, raw plutonium. Like, it's just a foul concoction that they made, and they put it in the back of their pickup truck, and it is absolutely vile. A meth lab is cleaner than where they made this ramen. Did you see that lady on Twitter putting a bunch of warm ramen in the back of her pickup truck to feed the homeless? Oh my god, that shit was wacky, yeah. God, Jesus Christ. So the idea here was to be Meals on Wheels and feed the homeless with some ramen in their pickup truck. Such a good idea too, by the way. That's gonna make sure the ramen's nice and flavored with that beautiful fucking asphalt. She puts that on her feet to protect her feet points. See, she's trying to get like those what a great person kind of shit going. But it's obviously a terrible idea, one. And two, she doesn't even actually feed homeless people with it. She has one of her friends pretend to be homeless and eat out of it like a fucking pig at a trough. Like, it's just embarrassing. It's so fucking cringe. His heart and soul into this performance. Need cash. Lounging on a pile of rocks. Because all homeless people choose the most uncomfortable places to lay down, obviously. If they're not laying on rocks, they're laying on broken glass. So, you know, they found I remember him actually eating it. He spit that shit out and violently puked, I bet. Just, you know, sometimes it's the little things, the good deeds from the good people, like this woman and her husband. To stage a feeding the homeless video for some TikTok points, you gotta love it. I was actually wrong. This wasn't done for TikTok clout. It was actually done for something even more meaningless. Facebook attention. Facebook updates and page likes. If you started downloading pictures of spit as NFTs right now, that would hold more value than Facebook likes. And that was the whole motivator here. This was posted by a page that's notorious for posting absolute garbage trash, and in their bio they do state that some of the content they post is staged, this clearly being an example of that. I'm not going to say the page's name because this is clearly just a play for attention regardless, but it doesn't change anything about the situation here. Staging this brain-rotted garbage is at worst misleading and deceptive to the Facebook audience of 70-year-old geriatrics that believe it's real, and at best, just turbo cringe. This shit is just still fucking embarrassing to watch no matter how you spin it. So yeah, I just wanted to briefly talk about it and show you what all the hubbub is about with this food truck ramen delivery service, or lack thereof, I guess. And that's really about it. So yeah. There's a crazy clip from Pokimane's stream going viral right now that I really want to talk about, but it also made me want to speak on a story I've never told about an experience I've had that's somewhat similar to the one she describes here, at least in terms of creepiness. And, well, now I finally have a reason to get that baby off my chest here, so that's gonna be cathartic. Let's dive in.
Many, many years ago, when I was like super omega active on YouTube and I was working with a lot of different editors. There was one editor in particular that I would work with a lot because his edits were really, really good, but he had one major problem, which was that sometimes out of nowhere, his videos would just be like a week or two late. Months go by and he messages me out of the blue and he says, "Hey, do you have time to talk? I'm ready to finally tell you why I've been struggling so much with deadlines."
In the history of the human race, I don't think there has ever been a good ending to the sentence, "Hey, do you have a minute to talk?" That always precedes the most vile shit you'll ever hear in your life. I can't even imagine a situation where you'd hear that sentence and think anything other than the most negative thing you'll ever hear is about to happen. Like, imagine you're in heaven and the Lord pulls you aside right in front of the pearly gates and he says, "Hey, you got a minute to talk?" Well, you immediately assume you're just going to hell. Like, there's just no world where that sentence ever precedes good news.
Tell me why he proceeds to tell me that the reason why he would sometimes turn around videos a week or two late is because he couldn't stop touching himself. I was trying to pick which word to use. To me, his, in a way, employer of many, many months.
Stop for a second and really let that stew in your noodle. Let it marinate for a bit. How Coomer-brained must you be not only to do this degenerate act of just fucking beating your meat to a streamer's gameplay footage that you're editing, but then tell her that the reason you're late on some of the edits is because you can't stop squeezing your hog to the footage that she sends you. There are so many layers to this onion here. Let's just start by picking apart the most obvious. Why? Now, I know in the most severe cases of porn addicts, they'll sometimes try and communicate directly to the porn star by, like, leaving comments or sending messages or whatever, and that's always the saddest shit you'll ever see. That'll bring a tear to even the strongest man's eyes. Occasionally you'll see those moments where dudes try and directly communicate to the porn star, leaving comments on their posts saying things like, "Can't wait to watch this one when I'm off work," or "When my wife goes to bed, that's when the bad boy will play. Thanks for providing me with tonight's entertainment," whatever. Like, just leaving these desperate posts, you know, cock in hand, giving a salute, like, "Thank you, madame, for your service. This will be a legendary gooning sesh." But even in those cases, they're communicating with someone they don't know. This guy was her editor for many months. And he was not only jerking off to the content he was being sent, which was just gameplay videos, I imagine, or like just chatting stream moments, nothing even sexual, and he was still choking the chicken to it, fucking playing the skin flute, and then had the gall to tell her that he was doing that is just incomprehensibly unhinged. She was his boss. She was employing him, so he basically went right through HR, bypassed that protocol, went straight to the top of the food chain, kicked in the door, and said, "Listen, boss, I'm fucking obliterating my wiener, and what are you gonna do about it? That's why I've been late on my deadlines." Like, I don't think he came in with that energy. I bet he was, like, super shy about it. He was probably like, "Oh, Pokimane, so I know I've been kind of late recently, but it's only because I was, how do you say, jerking off to your work."
When I tell you I've never halted a conversation so fast, because I'm like, you are the person that I send, like, hours of footage to. I don't want to know what you're jacking it to. I don't want to know more. I shouldn't even know how much I know right now. I shouldn't know.
I'd actually argue that it's better she did know this, no matter how awful it is, but that way she can get the fuck away from this weirdo ASAP. Just say, "Take a hike, Buster. This is fucking terrible."
But I felt so bad. So when he's like, you know, like, this is like an addiction of mine, I genuinely felt really, really bad. So I still paid him for months. What the hell do I do? Fire him? Am I even allowed to fire someone because they're...
That's definitely towards the top of the list for the best reasons to fire someone. That actually might be reason number one why you could go ahead and can somebody. Because they can't stop fucking beating their cock to you, their employer. And they're also not doing their job well by being 1 to 2 weeks late, which, by the way, is a long time of just fucking gooning here. This degenerate would miss his deadlines by a week or even up to 2 weeks because he was obsessively polishing his scepter to his employer. You 100% can and should fire someone like this. It's not like the Better Business Bureau is going to defend him. You're not going to have agents show up at your door knocking and be like, "Hey, listen, we know what happened here. You discriminated against this kind, gentle sir. You fired him just because he was obsessively masturbating to you. Well, I'll have you know this is a free country, ma'am. This is a civilized society. You can't fire someone for that. There's no crime. What is the charge? Busting a nut? An immaculate, gooey nut? This is democracy manifest." Like that just wouldn't happen. But I actually understand why she was hesitant to do that, and this is where I'm going to get into a story I don't think I've ever told. I'm pretty sure I haven't, where I had something somewhat similar happen a long time ago. Not to this level, but something closely related. So a while back, I used to just accept any voice acting role I was offered by any human being with a pulse on the planet. If they said they needed voice lines done, I would do them for free just because I really enjoyed doing it. It's actually how I met Jackson, and if you have ever watched the official podcast, you'll know that our X-Men origin story between Jackson and I's friendship is that Jackson actually scammed me through this process. He sent me an email asking if I'd be down to do voice work for his upcoming game, and then sent me like some in-game screenshots and promotional screenshots that were actually just Dark Souls images that he photoshopped to fit his game style that he tried to sell me on. And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm definitely down to do voice work. And it turns out he never had that game, he just wanted to play games together, and we did, and ended up becoming extremely close friends, and now we make God Slap together. Like, he's been a friend of mine for almost a decade now. And it came from that. But there's definitely a dark side to that. The Sith Lords definitely did exploit that very stupid thing I used to do, just accepting any voice acting roles ever from anybody. So, I think this was after I had met Jackson and after we were friends. I can't quite remember the exact chronological timeline here, but I received a very interesting email from a very peculiar man that, under any other circumstances, probably would have triggered red flags in a sensible person's mind. But for me, I saw the word like voice acting opportunity and I was like, I'm in. Say no more. So I emailed him back saying that I was absolutely down to do this and when should we get to work on it. So we communicated back and forth a little bit and eventually set up a Skype call. Because this is when Skype was still popular. I think one of the best things that's happened in modern day is that Skype has died. That was legitimately just like fucking official malware. That was the worst program that ever saw success, and I am embarrassed that it ever got as popular as it did. But this was a different time and day back then. So we went in Skype and we had our first voice call a couple days after that initial email came through. And it wasn't like super weird. He conducted himself pretty professionally. He was trying to tell me about the game. I don't remember all the details around it. It was a game that never was going to happen, though. It was unbelievably ambitious. It was some kind of, like, MMO hack and slash with, like, a super deep branching plot lines, all made by him, the solo dev. He was just spamming every buzzword he could about this game, but, again, it didn't matter to me because it was voice acting work, and I wanted to get the reps in. And so I just said, yeah, like, I'm super on board. Let's stay in contact. You can send me the script and whatever else you need. And that was kind of the end of our, like, introductory call. And man, did I open Pandora's box. Pretty much immediately after that call, he would start messaging me on Skype often. And it wasn't about the project all the time. Sometimes it was just about his day, which I would engage with. I'd be like, oh, it's really interesting to hear about how your day's been going. Thanks so much for sharing. And then he'd start tiptoeing into like some other small talk. It started to feel like he was interrogating me sometimes, where he'd be like, so what'd you do today? And I'd tell him, be like, oh, so like, you didn't really respond earlier. I thought you were just doing something really important, but you were just hanging out at home? That's kind of weird. Like, what, are you sure that's all you were doing? I was like, brother, yeah, I mean, I don't know, I'm just not, like, always on Skype. He's like, oh, no, that's fine, he just didn't respond to me. And then he'd start gradually asking more and more questions, like, questions you would ask someone on, like, the most awkward first date imaginable if you were some kind of Reddit mod. He'd be, like, asking me certain things, like, about anime and just, like, general interests and shit. And this is right before I had graduated college. I was still in college because I remember he was asking me about how my schooling was going. And I was like, yeah, I mean, it's going well. How's your project going? And he'd tell me some shit that I know wasn't happening. He's like, oh yeah, I got a lot of work done today on the game. I was in C# really just fucking in my flow state. I took like the limitless pill and man, I programmed fucking 15 trees and I have 17 actors doing mocap for me and they're all martial arts specialists, so the hack and slash animations are top notch. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. Do you have like that script or anything ready? He's like, oh, it's still being worked on. And then he just keep kicking that can down the road and change the topic of like, but enough about the game. Tell me about exercise physiology. What's that like? And it's like, brother, you're not my mom. Like, why are you checking in like this? I don't care. And we're not really like close or anything. So why would you get upset if I don't like respond to you in a timely enough fashion? Like, it was just a disaster. So this went on for like a few weeks of this kind of stuff happening every couple of days. And I was ready to just wash my hands of it and just say, all right, this voice work isn't worth, I'm not getting the juice isn't worth the squeeze, as they say. So I kind of just started to let that peter out. I'd really very rarely respond to him. So he'd send me like a few messages over the course of like a week or two that I just would ignore. And then it got really bad. This guy was sending me, like, deep messages, and some of them just very unsettling. And then he eventually sent me a message talking about how he's about to end it all. And, you know, he doesn't expect me to respond since I haven't responded in so long, but he just wanted me to know how much our friendship meant to him and all that. And I fucking freaked out, immediately responded to that when I saw it. And then he once again just switched gears and was like talking about my day and his day and this and that, and once again just going down this small talk and then like interrogating me like, well, why haven't you been responding? So that I had to come up with a story like, oh, just haven't been checking Skype for the last few weeks, you know, just stuff going on. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, no, okay, yeah, I'm sure, and then getting upset and whatever. I recommended him getting, like, professional help, which he claimed he was doing and seeking, but it wasn't really working. The only thing that really helped him was our little chit-chats back and forth. So obviously, I kept that door open, and luckily, the frequency of his messages was much slower, so over the course of a few months now, the messages were far less often. So it wasn't that big of a deal, but it still just felt miserable to keep this communication open. It felt like a hostage situation where, like, if I didn't respond, he might do something, and it was scary. And as this continued for quite some time, he'd make threats occasionally of harming himself if I didn't respond in, like, a fucking speedrun fashion to one of his messages. When I got into a relationship, he sent a really creepy message about, like, well, is it serious? Why is it serious? What do you see in her? That kind of thing. Like, it was all really alarming shit. And I'm not going to keep boring you with details here, but similar to how Pokimane didn't immediately fire that guy because she, like, felt bad for him or was, like, a little afraid of what might happen or whatever, it's easy to take a step back when you're not involved in it and just be like, oh, this is what you should have done. But when you're actually in one of these, like, really weird fucking situations on, like, a personal level here, it's just a little harder to do that. So I do understand that, but again, definitely the right course was firing that guy. In my situation, eventually what I did was I just stopped responding. If he did send me one of those messages, I would reply just telling him he needs professional help, and I won't talk further about these kind of things with him because I am not a professional. I'm not equipped to deal with that or handle that or help him in any way. He needs real help. And that would be how I'd respond to those messages when he sent them, and he eventually stopped. But that went on for a long time. But yeah, anyway, just kind of wanted to talk about all this. That's about it. See ya. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope you and your family have a wonderful time of festivities, food, and whatever else you may do to celebrate today. I'm starting my Thanksgiving festivities the way our forefathers intended, by reading through an unbelievably long list of accusations and allegations against a YouTuber named Dream. Massive YouTuber, I'm sure you're familiar with the channel. I don't know how he's celebrating Thanksgiving, but I'll tell you one thing I know he's not thankful for, and it's Twitter. There are at least 100,000 different threads attempting to chronicle every single allegation as well as, like, the supposed evidence to support all the claims. And this morning, I decided to, like, finally just take the plunge, fucking cannonball into this cesspool and figure out what exactly he's even being accused of, what the evidence is, trying to make heads or tails of this wild web of things. And Jiminy Christmas, I'll just tell you, sports fans, I'm more confused than a caveman seeing fire for the first time. I've read through so much shit, and then I'll go to another thread, and then it contradicts all the shit I just read, and then there's a whole nother thread about debunking all of this shit, and then I'll finally feel like, okay, I understand what's happening here, but then from out of nowhere, a new challenger enters WrestleMania coming from the top turnbuckle and blasts the whole thing wide open by making some crazy claims about, like, actually the debunking was false, this is a fake account, or, ooh, the initial account that started posting these claims turns out to be completely fake, and here's proof of them admitting that it was all a ruse. And then apparently it's become a very common pastime for people to just make brand new fake accounts and start putting in a bunch of wild allegations on top of all of this to keep muddying the waters. It is so messy. The allegations include grooming, Dream being a pedophile, sending moaning videos through Snapchat to minors. There's a ton of claims, a ton of different things from a ton of different places. And throughout trying to follow all of it as well as the evidence, everything just keeps getting flipped around, and it's been extremely difficult to figure out what you can trust and what you can't. A lot of the claims do seem very believable, and some of the evidence seems credible, but none of it's like 100% concrete proof of anything. I truly believe Dream is a narcissist. I think most people believe that, and I think Dream knows his audience mainly skews towards kids. Dream's audience has always been on the younger side of things, and yet Dream constantly engages with them in very inappropriate ways, such as like posting thirst traps, some of the things he says, like all of that very public and very well documented. I think all of it's very creepy, and I've said that quite a bit in the past. So I think with his history of doing things like that, it makes a lot of the claims have a lot more weight to them because they're much more believable, knowing that Dream publicly does encourage his fans to be parasocial. He does post thirst traps, even knowing that his fans are children, which I personally believe is a creepy thing to do with the audience he has. So when these claims come out, I think a lot of people start to take them at face value because they're like, oh, that sounds like the Dream that I know. This sounds like something Dream might do, so it's probably true. Even though right now a lot of the evidence backing it up isn't the strongest. Even like there is evidence, sure, but it's nothing that 100% condemns him or 100% shows that the claims being made are accurate. Let me give you an example of one that blew up a couple days ago during the whole Dream did what Twitter trend. So Dream was accused of sending moaning videos through Snapchat to minors, and here's the evidence for that. This is allegedly Dream's Snapchat account, but there's nothing actually connecting this account to those videos whatsoever. You can easily just make a fake Dream Snapchat account. There's nothing in those videos that has his face or anything. It's just the sound of someone moaning that resembles Dream's voice. To me, it sounds more like a Shane Dawson moan. I don't listen to a lot of Dream, but when I heard that, I thought for sure this was leaked audio of Shane Dawson when he did that degenerate shit with his cat. These videos just aren't definitive proof of anything. It's a black screen with the sound of somebody moaning. Now that's not to say that this can't be real. It could be Dream. I have no way of knowing for sure one way or the other. It's just right now with what is presented, it's not enough to convince me beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is Dream here. Anyone could be moaning there and just say, look, it's Dream, listen, it's definitely him, but it's just a complete random person doing it. If they really wanted to get wacky with it, they could have grabbed the audio from that classic meme where the guy passes a kidney stone while coming and is like screaming while orgasming. Like that, and then just say, it's Dream, look, and it was sent to a minor. Even though, again, there's also no proof of it being sent to a minor, at least nothing that I can find here for that. So the only proof here is the name, Dream, it's clearly his Snapchat, it must be. And listen to him moan and look at what he said. And then it's just some like really fucking cringe text that seems like it's straight out of the worst written erotica fanfic ever. I'd kiss your neck and tease the shit out of you, run my hand up your body. Your tits are so nice, what the fuck, I just want to fill you up, princess. Oh god. Sickening, vomit-inducing trash there. But I just don't see anything here that proves that this is Dream that sent it A, and Dream that sent it to a minor B. Like, and I also don't, just on a side note, I don't think anyone's ever been so terminally horny that they send a video of them moaning to somebody. That is just so conceptually baffling to me. I don't know if it's commonplace for a dude to do that, but I can't even imagine that. To just send a clip of you moaning to someone would be like the worst jump scare ever, just like, oh, are you feeling it now, babe? Like, do you like that one? Like, I can't even imagine that thought process. But again, there just isn't enough here for me to know what is true and what is false. As more and more evidence comes out, I'm sure it'll make it more and more clear, but so far, everything that keeps coming out has 1,000 other things that all try and, like, contradict it, and it just gets so hard to figure out what's real, what's fake. There is only one small chapter in this massive textbook here that I was able to confirm beyond a shadow of a doubt at least happened and is 100% real. And that's the entire saga of him versus Nicholas Cantu, the voice of Gumball.
10,000, 100,000 of them to take me down. So that's how minuscule you are to my size, right? My stature of intelligence, character, body, and reverence in the world. 1K is better for this pussy who doesn't want to give away his millions. Are you Jewish? No, man, because I'm gonna do movies, stand-up comedy, everything, all the shit. Music, whatever the fuck, e-commerce. You don't understand that you're talking to, like, a Michelangelo.
So, in this anime arc here, for all of the Dream controversy, what happened is Nicholas Cantu and Dream got into a big verbal disagreement. Apparently, it even got physical with, like, Nicholas slapping Dream and this and that. Dream eventually filmed Nicholas in an Uber where he was drunk and high, so cross-faded. According to some of the claims, he was also going through a manic episode. In the video, he starts saying some awful shit. He starts saying slurs, too, towards Dream. And Dream captures this footage, eventually drops it online, and then goes over the situation. Both people catch a lot of shit here, Dream and Nicholas. However, the internet mainly rallied behind Nicholas against Dream. Dream is not a very well-liked person online for a variety of different reasons. In this case, they cited the fact that he filmed this and then tried to use it as a weapon is an extremely weird thing to do, especially when considering some of the other circumstances at play around this situation. I'm not here to get too deep into the weeds of the Gumball versus Dream stuff here. There's plenty of information out there about it if anyone's curious enough to look into it. The only reason I'm bringing it up here is because out of everything I've been reading so far, this seems to be the only one that I can confirm with 100% certainty this is a legitimate situation that happened as it was described and as it was claimed to have happened. Just like sand, you can see it, you can touch it, you can taste it, it's real, it's there. So there's a lot of proof around this one. This whole situation actually happened. Now, Dream has been anything but silent on this case. He's been engaging directly with all of the shit going on Twitter, and he made a statement saying that it's all false, it's all a lie, and he's making a huge comprehensive video going over each and every component of it. So I guess we'll have to see what he says in that video about everything. Obviously, I don't think he's going to admit to anything, even if it is true, but I think just by having him address it, it'll help figure out what claims even have real validity to them in the first place, because I imagine when tackling these things, he's going to go over the situation, which could help piece together the story, and maybe some of the claims do get proven true from Dream's video, even though he's been trying to make excuses for it. Like, there's no telling. If all of the claims are fake, if all of the claims are true, I have no idea, but all I know for sure is this is a fucking crazy, messy, nearly impossible situation to actually follow and get to the bottom of. So I guess we'll see what happens when he posts this, when he posts his video about this, and go from there. That's about it. See ya. When you hear the word evil right now, you most likely picture someone who time skips in Animal Crossing. That seems to be the unforgivable sin on the internet at the moment, but I want to show you something truly deplorable and evil. There's a YouTuber that has made an entire career out of torturing and eating animals alive for their mukbang videos. First of all, mukbangs suck fuck. Sitting on your balls is less painful than watching a full mukbang video. They're absolutely terrible, and she takes it to the next level by making it something diabolical. I can already see in the comment section some of those tough guys, oh, what are you, some kind of pussy vegan? What, you can't handle watching some animals get killed and eaten? I have hit a fucking deer with my truck on the way home, got out, put a bullet in its skull, and then ate it when I got home. You vegan pussy. I get it, you're a real tough guy, for sure. I'm not a vegan, and you don't need to be to find the shit she does cruel and just downright ridiculous and just disgusting. Her name is So Young, and what she does on her channel is she buys sea creatures alive and then kills them in the slowest, most inhumane ways possible because she likes to watch them squirm around and put Facebook royalty-free music behind it as a joke. For example, with a squid in particular, she cuts the hood off and then sets the body down, and the body's still alive, the squid is still technically alive, and it's moving around trying to get the fuck away. She'll pour sauce on it and put some goofy music and make some stupid fucking jokes about it. It's terrible stuff. She treats it like it's a Nick Jr. cartoon, where she's making these, like, goofy sounds and goofy YouTuber faces, like, that's kind of fucking garbage. That's what she does as the creatures are clinging to the last ounce of life they have. And sometimes she doesn't bother to kill the creatures, like for octopus, she'll just eat them alive straight up. Now, I know there's a lot of people that argue, are sea creatures even alive? Some of them don't have nervous systems, this and that. And yeah, there's a debate to be had there, I suppose, but the creatures she chooses to eat alive are the ones that are well documented in being very much aware and alive. For example, the octopus. Octopus are among the most intelligent creatures we have on the planet. They're up there with dolphins. They have a fully complex nervous system, brain. They have as many neurons as dogs do, and they process pain and information in much the same way a dog does. They're able to remember that kind of information as well. So how does she treat an octopus? Well, by devouring it alive as it tries its best to run the fuck away. Yeah, they're actually alive. It's not like some kind of post-mortem response or anything, and even in the title she makes it well known the octopus are alive and that she's eating them alive. That's the whole draw of the video. If you watch her channel, you watch this content and support it, you suck. You, like, objectively, you're a piece of shit and you have shitty taste. I guarantee I could find 1,000 scientific reports to corroborate that. It's a fact. You suck. And she is absolutely terrible. I don't even know how this content is allowed on YouTube. This absolutely falls under animal cruelty, by all definitions. Yes, again, there is a debate to be had about all sea creatures being equal in terms of what they can experience, what they can feel, and all that. I get it. But the creatures she chooses are the smartest fucking creatures in the sea. I'm honestly expecting sometime this week she'll release a eating dolphin alive video where she starts at the fucking butthole of the dolphin and just eats up. It's some deplorable shit. What's she gonna do when she runs out of sea creatures to eat alive? Probably resort to cannibalism. I have no idea what's next for the channel. It is absolutely baffling to me. Eating an octopus alive is like eating a fucking dog alive. They're on the same... They're on the same level. She's basically just eating a sea hentai dog. It's fucking crazy how this is even allowed and how she has an audience that supports it and defends her in the comment section. She has fucking simps defending her in the comment section. Have some fucking shame. Even if you set aside morals and ethics, the content itself is fucking atrocious. All she does when she's not torturing and eating animals alive is scream, ah, oh, ah, 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 as, you know, you have goofy cartoon music blasting behind her. So unless you're 8 years old who finds jingling keys comedic because they're loud, I don't know how you could possibly be entertained by anything she does. It's fucking terrible trash. I think it's pretty clear she makes these videos aimed at a younger demographic. Children, you know, with all this goofy screaming and Facebook sound effect kind of shit. I don't think her target demographic is adults. Which makes it even more fucked up to just be coming on here and executing these creatures on camera for kids to laugh at. Even when she does muster enough human decency to at least kill the food she's about to eat, she always makes sure that it puts on a little show for her. Like she's the puppeteer and it's the marionette. She'll take the sea creature out of the water, throw it on the floor, and just let it flop around, as you saw with the shark right there. She does that for every single creature she eats. I have not found a single video where she doesn't torture it before she eats it. And yes, again, sometimes she does actually kill them, but a lot of times she just eats them alive.
구독, 좋아요 눌러주세요. 자, 엄마야. 자, 먹어볼게요. 잠깐. 움직이지 마. 맛있겠다.
Yep, she just twists their fucking heads off while they're alive. It's like a Mortal Kombat fatality. How are you supposed to humanely prepare prawns? What's the right way? Well, unsurprisingly, you take a sharp knife and you go from head to tail. It's instant. And there's none of the old neck snapping and head ripping off decapitation kind of shit that she prefers to do. Let's see how she handles a squid.
가만히 있어, 가만히 있어, 가만히 있어, 가만히 있어, 가만히 있어. 자, 자, 일단 한 마리 손질.
As you can likely imagine, that's the most inhumane way of killing a squid and preparing it. She didn't dress the squid, she fucking mutilated it while it was alive. I'll share with you the proper way of preparing the squid. You start by killing it, unsurprisingly. You take a sharp knife, or there's even a tool to do it, where you poke it right through its head, and you can kill it instantly, so you don't have to worry about stripping its hood off while it's fucking alive. She then poured sauce on the still alive parts of the squid and watched them dance around as a joke. I didn't want to put that in here. It is disgusting. You don't have to be a vegan to think it's disgusting. I'm not, and I think it's just outright one of the most cruel things that YouTube for some reason is allowing, even condoning. She has 3.2 million subscribers. These videos have 18 million, 20 million views. It's sick. I remember a few years ago there was this channel that was dedicated to destroying iPhones, real shitty channel, and in one of his videos, he destroys the iPhone, but he also kills cockroaches around the iPhone. And he got in huge trouble, got taken down by YouTube because of animal cruelty for killing those cockroaches. So what's changed? She's doing something significantly worse than that, and in far more inhumane ways, but she's allowed to continue. She has over 3.2 million subscribers. These views have 20 million views, 50 million views all over the place. They're massive. And I think what she's doing is just disgusting. 100%. And that's about it. So yeah. Right now, there's a Twitch streamer getting tomatoes thrown at him all across Twitter for a clip that's going viral of him having an embarrassing and horrible response to one of his community members answering a question that he asked them.
In Spanish, and it's chef's kiss. All right. Curvy, where the fuck have you been? Oh my god, well tell you what, Miss Dirty Curvy, you know what we're not gonna do? We're not gonna talk about it in my chat. Cause it's Friday, and that is a whole big bucket of bummer.
And his response is a big barrel of butt cheeks. So to give context to this situation here on the lore, this was a regular viewer of this streamer, an avid supporter who had taken a bit of a hiatus and was unfortunately going through a very hard time with her mother passing. So, when he saw that she was back, he asked her, "Oh, where have you been?" To which she just answered honestly, her mother had passed away, so, you know, it was a bit of a tough time, that's why she was taking a break. And then for some reason, this must have input a cheat code into the streamer's brain that just sent him into, like, debate club. He, for some reason, then just goes into, like, this TED Talk about how you shouldn't answer his question if your answer is something sad, because it brings down the vibes of the stream. It's baffling, because you had asked her, and she just answered your question honestly. I'll play a bit more of the clip before getting into it, but I want to make it clear early on that I understand a lot of streamers have a similar perspective where you don't really want someone in chat that's just talking about like a really traumatic experience they're going through, because it's not really the place for it, and the streamer's not the therapist. Like, I do get that perspective, but there's a difference between, like, just a random person treating Twitch chat like it's their psychiatrist, and you asking someone a question and them answering honestly, especially when it's a member of the community that you already kind of know to a certain level. I don't understand why you're all of a sudden getting mad at them for answering that.
And I'm sorry for your loss, but we're not doing that in my fucking chat. Thank you. Well, okay, Miss Dirty Curvy, you said, no, that's fine. You asked, so I told. No, I didn't ask you to tell me the biggest fucking bummer news in the world. I said, hey, what's up? How are you? You know what? Let me give you a little bit of a lesson, Miss Nerdy Curvy. When something really, really bad is going on in your life, and in a public forum, someone asks you, hey, what's up? How are you? There are two acceptable responses. Good, and you know what? I'll make it through. That's it.
So you want to just talk to NPCs that only have two dialogue options. Okay? Then why bother trying to communicate with a human being? Like, okay, give them a script. Make sure your community has the acceptable answer script to my stupid questions. I don't actually care where you've been. Like, just tell me one of these two canned responses. Like, this is so fucking dumb. And I also love the audacity let me give you a lesson here on how to handle my questions going forward. It's just so laughable that he's acting like some kind of social savant here about how to handle public conversations and what you're allowed to say. You're a fucking Twitch streamer, man. All of us as streamers are not exactly the most socially gifted. Like, let's just face the facts here. So why are you trying to act like the authority on the matter here, as if you're some kind of social guru who's now giving a lecture to your community about what is and is not allowed in a public conversation? It's fucking goofy. It's very silly.
How are you? Good? Or, you know what? I'll make it through. Awesome. Love to hear it. See, there you go. Or Prom's response. Yeah, I said, Prom, how are you doing? She says, I'm alive.
You know what's just as easy as those two responses is you being able to respond with some level of empathy like, oh man, that's terrible, I'm sorry to hear that. Or, damn, that's awful news, stay strong. Or, man, shit, that's terrible, hopefully today's stream can lift your spirits a bit. Like, you also have equally easy responses to, like, instead of dwell on the negative here and for some reason try and shame her for answering your question honestly, you could have just as easily had a very simple and empathetic response to it and moved on from it. But instead, now you're putting all of it on her and blaming her for bringing down the entire atmosphere, as if she somehow forced you to enter your goofo mode here, your insano style tantrum that you're throwing. Like, it is your fault. You could have either not asked the question if you didn't want, like, real answers, or you could have had some level of empathy and just given, like, a general, decent response like, damn, awful news, sorry to hear that, stay strong. And then just go about, like, a good vibe stream. Like, it's super easy.
Oh, I asked you where you were. Look, Mr. Curvy, I'm just subtly trying to tell you that unloading really heavy news in people's chats on Twitch is not like good etiquette. It's not the place to do it. That's all I'm trying to tell you. Heavy news like that, when someone asks, hey, where have you been? You don't need to tell them, well, my dog died, my husband left me for a younger woman, my house burnt down, and my car got stolen. So I've been a little bit busy. That's why I haven't been around. Because it's like, oh, God, like, ugh.
Oh, God, your bad news is making my easy job just a little stressful, because now I've heard your fucking bad news, like, ugh. Like, can you have some level of shame? Can you stop having bad things happen to you and then share it with me when I ask? Like, fuck. God, where do you get off? What a stupid perspective, bro. What are you talking about? That's not even what they did. You asked them a question and they gave a simple response to it. Now, for a little further context, she, in her first response, accidentally led with, like, a laughing emotion. So she led with, like, LMAO because she was responding to, like, a joke he had told and then answered his question about her mom passing away. She got a little concerned that it was going to be misconstrued like she was joking about that. So then she clarified again that, no, like, it's just been a rough time. It's just been horrible. So she said it, like, twice or 3 times in total, but it was never to dwell on it or try and treat him like a therapist or treat chat like it was a self-help subreddit or something. She just answered his question but didn't like her first answer because she thought it might get misconstrued, so then just said, like, no, it's just been bad, and that's where it was. She didn't try and, like, keep pressing it further or anything. For some reason, he did. He took it and ran with it and made it an overwhelmingly negative thing and then shamed her publicly in front of the entire community for it, which is so fucking weird and terrible thing to do. Now, like I said in the very beginning, I do understand the perspective of not wanting your community to treat it like it's like a therapy session where they're dropping really heavy things going on in their personal lives into the Twitch chat or asking you to solve the problems for them. I do agree that that is just not the time nor the place, and that's not going to help the person either. That's not going to help them or anyone else around you that needs, like, professional help and someone to actually be there and qualified to give real helpful advice to that person that's struggling. And Twitch chat is the last place you'd want to go for anything real. So I do agree, like, that is never a good case, like, that's never a good situation to be in, but that's not the situation this streamer was in. He had asked a community member that he knew a question, and it was a personal question. Where have you been? Now I'm waiting for your answer. And they explained, well, it's just been a bad time because her mom had passed away. And that's it. She didn't, like, keep going forward about it, like, to try and, like, make it all about what she's going through. She just answered his question point blank. And for some reason, he went off the rails about it.
Like, you know, like, if if someone asks, like, hey, what's up? Where have you been? And it's heavy, just be like, I had a bunch of shit going on, so I've been lying low for a little while. Got it. That's it. I'm not trying to rip you a new ass.
Yeah, not trying to rip you a new ass, just trying to embarrass you in front of the entire stream. The lack of self-awareness here. Buddy, that is kind of exactly what she did, but instead of just saying, I've got some shit that I'm going through, so I was lying low, she said, well, family member passed away, so I was lying low. That's it. She didn't continue to, like, go through the nitty-gritty on everything that happened. She did almost exactly what you said, but was a little more specific on exactly what that shit was. But in essence, it's the same thing. Would you have still melted down if she had said, I had a lot of bad, horrible things happen, so I was laying low for a bit? I don't think so. You probably would have just given a normal, like, decent human response like, man, sorry to hear that. Hope that shit clears up soon. Why couldn't you have had that same level-headed, rational response to her just being a bit more specific with what that horrible thing she was going through was? She didn't just dump everything on you and expect you to you know, like, coddle her or do something special. Like, she just answered your question. So this is where the viral clip ends, but he did have a response to this, and it's really worse than you're probably imagining. But before getting to his response, I want to hit you with a bucket of cold water to shock you with some statistics here. 93% of all Twitch streamers pull less than 5 viewers, so anything more than 5 immediately puts you in the top 6.7% of the site. These are old numbers too. These are from 2021, so I imagine this is only grown. So why am I bringing this up? Well, because the streamer who right now is catching more tomatoes than the goddamn Heinz ketchup factory is not a huge streamer. At least not by most people on Twitter's definition of a big streamer. He has around 55 average viewers, and to put that in perspective, that does put him in the top 1% of Twitch, at least based on the numbers I'm seeing. Because again, the vast majority of streamers are streaming to actually 0 people. Crickets. You have better luck getting your old high school classmates to watch your Facebook live stream than you do getting found on Twitch and starting a community from nothing. So everyone that's just writing him off as a nobody and fuck small streamers, who cares what they are saying or what their opinion is, I hate that perspective, and I will always hate that perspective. The mentality around numbers is so, like, fucked up these days that they can't recognize how big of a number 55 average viewers is. Like, yes, it's not the biggest streamers on Twitch, but that's still a pretty large number when put in perspective with how big the market is and how saturated it is. But this ties into the bigger point I want to make on the back of those numbers. The market being as saturated as it is, carving out a community being as tough as it is, the last thing you want to do is fuck it up, which is exactly what this guy has just done. He's currently streaming right now with like 140 viewers, which is more than he normally averages, but I imagine the majority of this is hate watchers hoping to just shit on him in the chat. And I've already seen it from a couple of his subs. Some people were saying how disappointed they were in him. And that's a really big deal, because when you have a really tight-knit community, once the viewers start feeling like you don't actually give a fuck about them at all, or that you're kind of a piece of shit, they probably won't stick around because there's so many other streamers that they'll just go to. So this will potentially end up being a huge problem for him. His first response was this on Twitter, where he's just taking full responsibility for being an asshole, which I guess is fine. Like, he's just saying, yeah, this was a real piece of shit here. But then 12 hours later, he made an apology video and doubled down on everything from his initial Twitter clip.
Firstly, it is well known in my channel that I do not tolerate heavy news, drama, or trauma dumping, if you will, being entered or dropped into the chat. This has been discussed and explained and made clear many times while I've been live over the last 4+ years that I've been on Twitch. The people that come to my channel often, they know this. They see it all the time. So that's something that I want to make sure everyone understands.
He directly blames her for violating his terms of service for being a chatter, basically, saying, I have very strict rules, you're not allowed to kill vibes with bad news or anything drama-related or heavy. Okay, then don't ask questions that could potentially lead to, like, someone being honest with you, man. Not everything in the world is going to be sunshine and rainbows. So why ask a question to your viewers that they might just be open about if you don't want to actually hear it? You know, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, and why are you blaming her? You're fucking blaming the victim here in this situation. What a terrible look. When you had already in your previous tweet sang a very different tune, where you're like, yeah, this one's kind of on me, I was a douchebag. What changed? All of a sudden now, you woke up this morning and you feel like you're not a douchebag, you're a superhero. In fact, she's the villain because she didn't follow your strict chat rules.
This is not the first time that she's violated the expectation that people not share heavy news in my channel. The frustration from having her argue in chat that she was, quote, just answering my question, even though she's been spoken to about this type of thing before.
Calling this an apology is a disservice to apologies. He is literally just justifying his reaction and saying it's all her fault. She violated our expectation of her in chat and then said she has a history of doing it. And in her statement, one of her tweetlongers, she clarifies a bit deeper on what he's talking about. And he's pretty misleading with the way he portrays what happened here. Again, you asked her a question, she answered it. So the quote, I was just answering your question, is very accurate because that is all she was doing, man.
Frowned upon. Dude, I'm getting follows right now. From Joe JCKS. Bro Chacho, welcome to the channel, dude. Thanks for the follow. Yeah.
He even acknowledges that maybe he should edit that out and then decides not to. You should have edited that out. That's what a big yikes moment there. In your fucking apology, not an apology, in your blaming, pointing the finger video, you get a follower, take a moment to say thanks for the follow and like just call out the follower during this? What a bad look. How could you not recognize that as a potential problem? But regardless, the actual video he has made here is not a good response. It is somehow even worse than the initial one with the doubling down and trying to justify it. Like, just have an obvious common sense level-headed response like, yep, I overreacted, this was stupid, I shouldn't have done that, I don't even know what I was thinking, I must have just been in a bad mood. Like it was just so easy to move on from this, but instead you doubled down and now you look real silly for it. That's about it. See ya.
Going to be visiting the dark web version of the Internet Strange's websites. This is the final and technically fourth part of the series, so I made
dark
a playlist
web.
you can check out at the top right of the screen if you want to watch
I've seen
all the
that
episodes.
movie.
For my safety
Unfriended.
and yours, I will not be sharing the links. Go watch the other parts of this series. Anyway, in case you guys don't know about the dark web, you can only access it using Tor web browser, not Google Chrome, not Firefox, not Internet Explorer. I don't know why you would use that anyway. This allows you to go into.
Well, it's not called Internet Explorer now. It's Edge.
The websites usually consist of random numbers. In the last video, we covered the basics, and this time I just decided.
Tor was made by the CIA.
And clicking and clicking. So
is that true? I remember that rumor floating around back when I was learning what the dark and deep web and shit was. Was Tor actually made by the CIA? It was made by the Navy. Oh, we're getting. Oh, there's like a fucking civil war in the chat. Was it the Navy or the CIA? On Tuesday, the CIA announced its own Tor Onion service. So the CIA, I guess, is getting into the dark web space. What are they, like, releasing dark web NFTs? I don't know. This is a weird announcement from 2019. The United States Naval Research Laboratory. I'm assuming it's just the first thing that popped up. Yeah, it looks like it was the Navy. So besides like arms purchasing and like illegal shit, what is the point of the dark web? Like, I can't imagine people are accessing the dark web going through Tor to look up like video game walkthroughs. That seems like there's no way that happens on the dark web. Who's going on the dark web like, bruh, I'm really looking to buy some crocodile. Oh, someone's selling. All right, here's my credit card info. No one's typing that shit in on the dark web. No fucking chance. No one's dumb enough to do that, right? College kids? Nah, I don't believe that for even a second. Nobody would. They're absolutely using like Monero or some kind of crypto or something. They're not going to be using like their actual just fucking Visa card.
Revenge. Now you might be saying, we already covered revenge in the last video. Yes, but those websites were taken down. Won't be sharing the name of the website, but I'll show you guys the layout. So right out of the gate, you're given a list of female names to browse through. If you click on a name...
This used to exist on the surface web for what it's worth. Tuv even covered it once. There used to be a website that was all for revenge porn, and eventually the guy who ran it faced, how many years in jail? I don't remember how many, but yeah, he got fucking blasted. But this was something back in the early internet days that it existed just on, you know, you could go on AOL and just look at revenge porn. It was fucking crazy. He got 18 years? Was it 18 years? You might be right.
member. There are two options: the lifetime basic.
Yeah, see,
and the
buy with
lifetime
Bitcoin.
premium.
You're not
Lifetime
typing in
basic
credit
costs
card info.
$150 and includes lifetime membership, daily updates, 101 gigabytes in leaked amateur content, which is 69,300 photos,
Christ.
3,405 video, and plus a VIP section, an IP cam section, spy cam
What?
recordings, NAS Synology section, and unsorted content, which apparently they have 10 terabytes worth of. So yeah, the IP cam
Holy
section, it's
shit.
like, dude, I feel so bad for the girls that don't even know their laptop is hacked and people are just watching them. Random people are just watching them.
That's another crazy thing. Do you guys remember that back in early internet days? There was a time, I don't remember if it was Max, but there was some laptop that shipped with a webcam built in, and it was extremely easy to access. So easy, in fact, there was a website set up on Surface Web where it would just be like a roulette. You just click a button and it'd take you to some random guy's webcam. You could just watch them living their lives. Was it Dell? It might have been Dell. Yeah, so you just have this roulette of just watching people's lives through their webcam. They had no idea. It was fucking wild. It was wild. So then, like, it was such a big deal that eventually the experts were like, if you own this laptop, just put a piece of tape over the webcam. Otherwise, you are most likely being watched.
You exist. But I just want to let you guys know that. I'll provide some Amazon links in case you guys want to buy some webcam covers. Disgusting fantasies.
You don't want to look at my webcam? Yeah, like... It's just one of those fucking creepy things, man. I don't think looking through those webcams ever really, like, nothing, like, crazy ever happens. But it's still just fucking scary to think about.
If you are not of legal age, or if this type of material is not legal in your jurisdiction, do not enter. This site contains absolutely no videos, photos, 3D rendered art, or other illustrations of or adults. If you're looking for any of that, you're in the wrong place. It's basically saying, we have a bunch of these, like...
Shit's like a Tumblr blog.
About,
the fuck?
Not only that, but they have two pedophilic prevention campaign advertisements to deter the users from doing anything in real life. They're obviously only doing this so it seems like, hey, we're actually the good guys. We're preventing this stuff from happening in real life. When in reality, they're just providing the acceptance, normalization, and culture of files.
That is something that is... I've seen this on Twitter. There's a verified account, couple 100,000 followers from what I recall. They have this belief that if we could just use AI to generate fake children for porn, it would solve pedophiles. There is a group of people that genuinely believe that providing, like, more child porn but without real people, that it would somehow get rid of, like, pedophiles. It is the most ass-backwards idea ever. It's fucking disgusting. They've made this post like, this is where I think deepfakes need to go. We need to create deepfakes of children in pornographic settings, so that way people would no longer be incentivized to use real children in child porn. It blew my fucking mind, and there were people supporting that. Like, all that does is provide more child porn for pedophiles, and make the market even bigger for people to fucking film that shit in the real world. It's crazy. It's crazy. Twitter is just the most outrageous wasteland of horrible ideas. That's what this just reminded me of. I think it was actually Mudahar who commented on that. I don't remember what the account was that was talking about it. I know they deleted it shortly thereafter.
Minor, and it's still illegal to have on your device. Take Lolly, for example. Even though they're just drawings, you can be arrested and charged with a crime if you possess lolicon in any form. Other countries have also...
Oh, wait, let me read that. I didn't know that. Is that real? You can actually get arrested for Lolly? So what is Twitter talking about then where it's like, it's not illegal? In fact, Lolly is something to be celebrated.
So enacted laws making Lolly... We offer the best collection of real snuff and authentic R-word pictures and video clips.
Jesus
Thousands
Christ.
of photos, videos, comics, and books. Join us for your very special never forget experience. For a small one-time fee, you have unlimited access forever. We add always new forbidden content. Completely safe and anonymous.
Jesus.
The document. The stuff on that document is absolutely fucking insane.
The
worst part is that they provide image proof. So, they provide image proof by using these web links. Everything that I'm about to say is real.
They use Reddit?
They provide some video proof too. I did check out some of them, and oh my god, I never want to go back. Like, deadass, I never want to fucking go back. I never want to see those images again, but it is real. I'm letting you guys know. This shit is real. Let's go over the document. I was actually kind of stupid and I downloaded the fucking text document. I don't know why I downloaded it. I downloaded something from the dark web. It's on my computer now. It's just a dot.
It's like a J-Station video. I downloaded some shit from the dark web. Now all of a sudden I'm an 8-foot smurf. I accidentally drank the Amogus potion at 3 a.m. from the dark web. Jesus Christ, tough.
Yeah. So the first thing they're claiming to sell are guns. We have sniper rifles, Mossberg 500, TOZ rifles, Kalashnikov rifles. I've never heard of that. But it says made in Russia, not China, from the other video. So let's just go into something shocking. This one, bro, this is what really got me. Video filmed according to your script with torture, R-word, snuff, etc. We need from you how many actors will be, race, gender, and your script/scenario. I can't believe
Jesus
Christ.
Christ.
The youngest actor we had, 4 days after she is born. The oldest actor we had, 93-year-old woman.
Holy
I'm assuming
fuck.
it's kidnapped people, blended up babies in smoothies. A classic smoothie is a drink made from pure raw fruit and or vegetables using a blender. Classic smoothie is a healthy
No
type of
fucking
cocktail
shot.
that you can drink for breakfast or a bit later. But we have a special smoothie. It's made from newborns. We place in blender the newborn with or without legs/hands.
Nah,
head
that
at your
no
request,
fucking
and
shot.
blend until the mixture is sourced smoothies from newborns strictly in the refrigerator or cool place.
That one seems very
you can
fake.
Also buy male and female genitalia, just like they're obviously they
I don't know
kill
about that
someone,
one.
cut
That
it
one
off,
doesn't seem
send it
like
to
a
you.
real thing.
Safe and secure container will be transferred and marked as for medical school. So they got their own methods to.
That's CIA bait.
Legit. They have
Yeah, it
drugs,
definitely
they have
seems like
methamphetamine,
bait.
cocaine, and why does that even matter? What? By reading the names, I recognize some of them. It's extremely fucking illegal. They're also selling the Logan Paul video. You guys know which one, which is a complete shock to me. It was like a YouTuber on this list. What was going on? But you know what Logan Paul video I'm talking about.
Can't you just find that on
It says
archive.org?
60 FPS. Here's
Why would
another
you buy
video,
that
penis
on the
out
dark
through
web?
meat grinder.
Pretty sure it's on
For that one, I actually
archive.org.
did check out their image proof and like
It makes it
seriously.
tier 1 Ash.
And you guys don't worry about my mental health. A lot of people comment like, I hope your mental health is good. It's good, bruh. I'm gonna go play GTA after this, right? But thank you guys so much for just
Yeah, it's the
supporting.
Logan Paul Forest
honestly,
video.
It's a blessing.
I'm
It is
again,
a
I'm pretty sure
fucking
it's on
blessing.
archive.org.
You guys, like, don't worry about me. Go on with your life. And I'll see you guys. Actually, leave a like on the video and subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you guys next time I upload.
Nice. So besides like illegal shit, is there any reason to go on the dark web? I know Mudahar's made a few videos on like other things besides like the worst shit on there, but what else is there? Besides just a bunch of illegal shit. To get around taxes, like there's like accountants on there. You could charge for like services to evade taxes or something. That's more just illegal shit though. I'm saying like besides all illegal shit, people just go there to hang out sometimes. Oh, well, if it was made by the Navy, then why the hell was it made and has a bunch of illegal stuff on it? Well, the reason it has a bunch of illegal stuff on it is because the anonymity. That's like the whole point of the dark and deep web. As for why it was made, that I don't really know. It's probably to get around like surveillance or something maybe. I'm just spitballing. He's a tier 1 poopy ranger. Let's see what crimes were caught on Twitch. Off the top of my head, can I think of any crimes? Turkey, the Turkish community on Twitch was recently just caught in a massive scandal of money laundering through Twitch bits and donations. That's probably on here. What else? CSGO Lotto? Would that be on here, you think?
Twitch started off as Justin
Prime
TV.
Raptor.
A man strapped the camera to his head and would live stream everything that happened to him 24/7. Eventually, the site grew and welcomed people from all over the world to
I
live
used to stream on
The
Justin
company had a
TV.
name change, which we now know as Twitch, and in 2014 was bought out by Amazon for $970 million. The first thing I want to do is talk about the horrible Twitch staff. Now, it's very known that Twitch has some, let's say, biased staff. Every other
Coming in
month, it
hot.
seems like a female streamer gets banned and then unbanned within the same week, whereas a male
God
streamer
damn.
can get banned for the same thing, if not something less harmful, and end up getting permanently banned. This has been proven time and time again, with the most recent case being about Narcissa Wright, a Twitch streamer that literally tweeted
Narcissa
out,
Wright.
I want to kill myself and shoot people at Twitch headquarters.
That story is very sad,
Who was
honestly.
banned, and then what do you know? Unbanned a few days later. I mean, if you ask me, that should have been a permanent ban, but no. We see in this tweet here that they're reducing her ban, and basically, you know, she got unbanned, is what I'm trying to say.
Point is, Twitch, I see where your bans come, I see where they come from, but it's like, to me,
Where's the bits, Alex?
it's just like, this situation, shoot people at the Twitch headquarters?
Should be a permanent ban. Now, why? Are the Twitch staff just full of simps? Yeah. And in all honesty, it does seem like Twitch has favorites. Sometimes the reasoning for people getting banned is so stupid, but then if a female does it, again, this is not every
Now,
single
correct me
case.
if I'm wrong. Wasn't she rebanned after being... Or... Wasn't she rebanned after being unbanned and then banned again. I'm pretty sure they did correct that mistake. The whole Narcissa Wright story is extremely sad, though. That situation is horrible. I don't think many people know like the whole lore behind Narcissa Wright, but it's a honestly really sad story. Tell it? I can give the cliff notes. Back in the early days of Twitch, really Twitch was built on the back of speedrunning for a little while, like Siglimic, Cosmo Wright. Really the two of them were like pillars of streaming content on Twitch and started to really get a lot of headlines, and then eventually ADGQ was rolling around, AGDQ started popping off. Cosmo Wright was a prolific speedrunner in Zelda games, Wind Waker, Ocarina of Time, all of that. And then over time, started to lose interest in speedrunning. I remember, I think it was 2016, Cosmo Wright entered into a Nintendo-sanctioned competition with a guy named John Numbers, where they were playing Mario Maker as a contest, and Cosmo Wright got blown out and didn't really return to streaming after that, if I recall correctly. And then after that, Cosmo Wright's mental health seemed a little spotty from what people were seeing. Eventually, Cosmo Wright transitions into Narcissa Wright, and from there, the streams that she would do were really focused on like really negative things, and it was very like a toxic environment. Eventually, Narcissa stopped streaming for a while, and what I understood is that she just outright stopped altogether. And then she posted that tweet about wanting to kill herself, and then the Twitch staff, which obviously turned a lot of heads as like, hey, what the fuck is this? So that's where the story's at. There's a lot more nuance to it, but that's kind of like the Cliff Notes breakdown. That whole story there, a lot of like sad and unfortunate things happened along the way. But since I was so big into watching Siglimic, Cosmo, that whole community of speedrunners, it's something I actively followed for a really long time.
Stephen Heyman. On August 31st, 2018, Stephen Heyman and John Di Pietro, I hope I said that right, were on their way to Dragon Con, a convention made for gamers, comic enthusiasts, science fiction fans, and more.
Sounds like
Steven
a joke, like Dragon D's nuts.
This is called IRL streaming. In Atlanta, Georgia, a man is seen approaching John and pins him to the ground. We can't see much, but we do get a full view of what the man looks like.
Oh shit. Ow. JP, just let go. JP, just let go.
What the fuck is happening?
JP, just let go of it. JP, just let go of it. Let go.
Wow.
You can hear
that was awfully calm.
Say, JP, just let go. And this is due to what I'm assuming is John not wanting the man to take his camera, which the man did end up stealing. From the reports I've read, it seems like the man was never caught. The YouTube comments were full of L friend, this dude is such a bad friend, and comments like that. But honestly, that was the best thing to do. You don't know if someone is carrying a knife or a firearm, and your life really isn't worth getting killed over something as simple as a camera or your wallet, when you could just...
Love how the dude didn't help. Bro, you're not gonna... Just give up the camera. Everyone shits on Dale Brown for giving like survival advice for how to like survive in an intense situation and disarm the attacker, and you guys give him shit. But the optimal thing to do is to not fight back. Just give your camera. Again, like Tuv just said, could have a knife, could have a gun, and that guy's big as fuck. That guy was significantly more jacked than Steven here. Just give up the fucking camera. Like, I guarantee if this guy did fight back and got his ass beat, people would give him much more shit anyway. Or he could have lost his life over it for a camera.
The police officer explains the call and asks Mr. Big for his name. Mr. Big explains that he doesn't need to give him any sort of information.
Oh boy, you went full Reddit.
It's honestly a pretty long and petty back and forth from both of them, up until the cop places Mr. Big under arrest. I would say wrongfully place him under arrest. I mean, he did have his right to not say anything. Cops can always arrest you based on suspicion. You know, it didn't seem in the clip like there was any suspicion of anything other than just the way Mr. Big was acting. Anyway, so Mr. Big gets arrested, right? They leave and they close the door. So a few minutes after the arrest, the door opens and reveals a neighbor, presumably the one that made the complaint, walking in and stealing a pair of shoes and a headset. He then returns and steals what seems to be his phone and a watch. I tuned into Mr. Big's Twitch page, and to my surprise, he still streams. Well, he took a break and is back and averages about 5 to 10 viewers.
That's
so I decided to ask him a couple questions.
What a galaxy brain scheme,
Make sure
though.
to show him some love and make sure to tell
fucking
him
supervillain mastermind.
I'm a YouTuber. Yeah, he was charged. He was a career criminal, man. Had a lengthy criminal history. I think he did 3 years for that shit.
I tried looking his name up in like a Washington police directory or something. I checked a lot of websites and I did not find a Jeremy Frost ad. Not that I don't believe you, Mr. Big, it's just that I would have liked to pull up his mugshot. RickyBot. RickyBot was a 43-year-old man who streamed himself playing Pokemon Go.
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do,
Pokemon Go
actually.
is a mobile game which requires you to go outside in order to catch different. Since the man stole 3 cell phones and the camera itself. RickyBot was taken to a local hospital with a laceration on the side of his head and a swollen right cheek. That same night, Ricky put out a series of tweets reading, "I got mugged playing Pokemon Go in Central Park. Still talking to police and will go to the hospital soon. My jaw is a mess. Thanks all. My Twitch account got suspended. Literally insult to injury."
Yeah, that's another fucked up thing that Twitch used to do. I don't know if they still do. If a crime gets captured on stream, or like something like that, I guess, where you get your ass beat on stream, they just ban the account outright, which is weird. I remember there was that guy who was involved in a hit and run while streaming. At least I think it was a hit and run. Oh no, there was a streamer who, while streaming IRL, accidentally captured like a shootout. I think it was like a guy shot at a car on his stream, and the guy got banned for it. It's really like a weird policy they have in that department when you capture something like that. That's technically against TOS, but you had no control over it, and it would also be good evidence. So I don't know why they'd like take it down. But yeah, that was something they did for all of those kind of cases. I remember that. I don't know if they still do though. Yeah.
So if I'm streaming, right, I have a malicious friend for some reason in my house, right? He comes in, says a slur, runs out. I'm getting banned. Right? It's, I hate it so much. And this poor man got pinned down to the ground and robbed. And Twitch is like, oh, nah, that's violent. Take it down. It's like, there's a lot of stuff about Twitch that rubs me the wrong
that policy
way.
is terrible.
In case you're wondering how Ricky is doing now.
How do they justify it? Because I know they even put out a statement about it. I'm kind of curious. Where can I find those guidelines? Again, I don't know if they still do it, though. But where can I find it? Because I'm curious what they did to defend it. They don't want people faking it for clout. I remember bits and pieces back with the guy who captured a shooter on stream. I think they said something like, we're doing it to keep the VOD private for everyone involved and sharing it with the police or something. Thanks for your subcatamon. I don't remember. If I could just remember what that case was, I'm sure I could find their tweet about it that clarified. Does anyone remember what it was? Because it was a pretty big one. That one got mainstream attention. A streamer had captured like a shootout on stream on Twitch. It was valuable information for the crime, and they banned the account, which then made it inaccessible. Was it North Hollywood shootout? Man, what the fuck? This was 1997 North Hollywood shootout. I remember that. This was not Twitch, you fucking asshole. That one though changed law enforcement drastically. So this is totally unrelated to anything we're watching here with the Twitch crimes. This shootout is fucking crazy. So 2 robbers were armed to the teeth, like full-blown juggernaut from Modern Warfare 2. And they robbed a store. And the police showed up and they just started blasting. Like the guys full auto, just letting it all hang loose. Oh, it was a bank. They robbed the bank. Yeah, that's what it was. Robbed the bank, just blasting. And the cops were shooting back, but their handguns weren't powerful enough to pierce their armor. So they couldn't actually stop them. They couldn't actually prevent them from leaving or doing anything. So they just kept walking away, taking bullets from the police while firing back. The police got so desperate for firepower, they started, I believe they raided a nearby gun store for like shotguns and other items, and as well as like just trying to find anything with a higher caliber. And it was such a long, drawn-out shootout that post-North Hollywood shootout, they started arming police officers much more heavily, like more firepower in their vehicles. It was crazy. The whole thing was captured on helicopter. In fact, the only reason it even ended is because one of the officers got a lucky shot on one of their ankles, because their ankle was slightly exposed, so they hit his ankle, he fell to the floor and knew he was going to be killed, so he took his own life. And then the other one, I think, got really desperate and just started walking at them or something like that. It was something like that. It was fucking crazy. Thanks to Prime Megalodon.
The streamer reacts and is then met with a handgun being pointed at his face and he screams. Alright, don't roast his scream, because I'm pretty sure if any of us were in that position, we would not know what to do. But I know you chuckled after that scream, and I did too. But like, let's not be too hard on that
normal
scream. One of the thieves goes to keep his wife quiet, and you can hear the kids in the background. The other is beating the streamer repeatedly with brass knuckles, asking where the money is at. The streamer
How do people think
explains
it's
that he
fake
doesn't
then?
have any money, but eventually I did find the name of the streamer, and that's TMoneyFG. It seems he doesn't stream anymore, and I couldn't find a YouTube channel, unless it's the one with 1 subscriber, but I doubt it. I also found his Twitter, and it's extremely botted. 16,000 followers and no likes on his recent tweet. Yeah, a little bit weird. You would think that if he faked this, he would at least gain clout from it. And if he faked it, I don't know if he would scream like that on purpose. Plus, why would you put your kids through something like this? I mean,
yeah, I don't think it's fake.
A lot of people were assuming that the wife set him up because she was too calm. That was stupid too. You can tell she's trying to stay calm for the kids. So
Seems
again,
like a weird thing to fake if you don't even stream anymore.
I can't tell. The video looked...
Ah, someone found it. Found the streamer you're asking about. Look up Bees on My Head TV carjacking. He was banned for getting carjacked while viewers were trying to use the VOD to find the guy who robbed them. Twitch came out and clarified their policy in response, stating that streamers are responsible for anything shown on stream. That's exactly what I was thinking of. A carjacking. Not a shootout around cars. You're absolutely right. Did he ever get his account back? Because this is like really a hardline stance. Twitch suspended his account for behavior caught on camera and has since informed the streamer he won't be getting it back anytime soon. Thanks again,
Security
McLovin.
breach. No, not the Five Nights at Freddy's game. So 6 months ago, on October 6th, Twitch was hacked and a torrent file containing around
this was the
125 gigabytes worth of leaks appeared on 4chan, and that included source code, streamer earnings, encrypted passwords, and more. We bring to you today an extremely poggers leak. Twitch is an American video live streaming service that focuses on video game live streaming, including broadcast of esports competitions operated by Twitch Interactive, a subsidiary of Amazon.com. Their community is also a disgusting, toxic cesspool. Beginnings, mobile, desktop, and video game console Twitch clients, creator payouts from 2019 until now. Find out how much your favorite streamer is really making. And then they link...
Did they ever release the second part to this?
Jeff Bezos paid $970 million for this, and we're giving it away for free. Hashtag do better Twitch. Though a bunch of stuff got leaked, people mainly focused on how much their favorite streamers were making. I mean, your passwords were at stake, but people were, you know, kind of mad at XQC for being a millionaire, which we all know. We all know he's a millionaire.
No, that
Many
was a
people were
surprise
mad
to
at
everybody.
streamers saying they didn't make sense. It's really funny because a lot of Twitch streamers have their sub count like on the top of their heads. They're letting you know how
that
much
doesn't
money
mean
they
anything,
make. It
though.
just takes a little bit of math. And they claimed that a part 2 was coming out, but that never happened. Many people just assume it was an ex-Twitch employee or a Twitch employee who knew they were going to be fired.
I doubt it was an ex-Twitch employee.
All right, before I go, I'm just going to end this off with a big bang. I'm sure you guys remember the whole Save the Kids thing.
Who could forget?
When crypto was, I wouldn't say at its peak. I would say at its peak popularity within the internet culture, there were a lot of influencers really taking advantage of this. This doesn't even count the NFT thing, right? This is crypto. Crypto and NFTs are very similar, but they are different, right?
Shitcoins versus NFTs. Shit
There were a
art.
lot of influencers promoting a bunch of scam coins, and once their fans would like buy the coins, they would quickly just take all the money, dip, leave the coin with no value. I mean, even Aiden Ross admitted to doing this.
Chat, by the way, that MILF token shit I did a while back.
I remember this one.
I already told you guys, don't buy that shit. I got paid a bag to do that shit. Like, I don't give a fuck. How many of you guys actually bought it?
Oh my god.
Which was Ice Poseidon. Now, Ice Poseidon used to be a very popular Twitch streamer.
We know this
In
one.
case you guys haven't heard of him, he's very popular for getting swatted. Yeah, that's what he's known for. He once got swatted on an airplane.
I actually don't know if I'm allowed to watch his story on Twitch. We all know this one, though. He openly admitted to stealing, what was it, 500, what was it, $300 or $500,000 from a shitcoin that he was pumping. Just very open. Watch it? I'll just explain it. I made a whole video on it when it happened. Ice Poseidon was pumping a shitcoin. Somehow his community bought into it. He ran away with 300 to 500,000. I don't remember what number it was, but it was somewhere in that ballpark. And he then went on CoffeeZilla's channel and openly said, yeah, I took the money. I was worried the coin was going to lose some value, so I thought I might as well take the money before it hit zero. And he was just very open and honest. And then CoffeeZilla said, hey, why don't you just give the money back since you still have it? I see it in your wallet. You could give the money back. And he said, I could, but I don't want to. Yep. It was fucking crazy. Time is a very cruel thing, and getting old is the ultimate cringe, but unfortunately, you can't escape it. Aging is an unavoidable fate, unless you're Peter Pan or a lobster, I guess. And the older I get, I take a look in the mirror, and I no longer see a young spry whippersnapper named Charles with stars in his eyes. I see Squidward. Because now, just like Squidward, when I see people having fun in ways that I don't fully understand, it gets under my skin and I start complaining. As I'm entering my geriatric years, all I want to do is play my clarinet and then, shake my fist screaming, "Bah humbug, you wipe that smile off your face right now, you fucking milk-drinking little nerd. I don't understand why you're enjoying that kind of content." And that's what I'm here to do again today. I'm here to just complain about something I don't fucking get, and something I think is really stupid. It's the entire Baby Gronk stuff going on right now. This shit has been contaminating my Twitter timeline for the last 3 days. Basically, is Baby Gronk the new Drip King, or is he just getting rizzed up by Livy? I'm bilingual, I speak fluent English and gamer, and neither one of those help explain what I just read there. Son of a bitch, what does that mean? I had to do legitimate research to figure out what all of this was about. So I'm here to share my findings like an archaeologist presenting it to the museum, so that way you too can understand what all this hoopla is about. And I'll just boil it down to the basics. Baby Gronk is like a 9-year-old kid who's, I guess, like a football prodigy, but it's his dad that's kind of the puppet master behind this whole operation of viral fame, where the dad keeps pathetically messaging every outlet ever to keep reporting on his son to keep the memes alive, so that way his son can have a bigger online presence like on Instagram, TikTok, and all of that. So it's his dad trying to pump up these online numbers. And through the interviews I've watched with Baby Gronk and his dad, it's super clear that the dad is just living vicariously through his child here and trying to make money off of his viral fame. So I actually think it's really fucking sad, honestly. But let's go through this whole thing top to bottom. It all started with this video.
Hey, are you that kid from the internet?
Yeah, I'm Baby Gronk.
I'm Liv. Nice to meet
Hi,
you.
Baby.
What are you doing at LSU?
I'm a player.
You have to come here. It's awesome.
I probably will.
You're so cute.
That whole interaction felt like it was NPCs in Skyrim having some kind of malfunctioning dialogue tree take place. That was so fucking weird. So, what happened there? The woman in that video, her name's Livy Dunn, and she's an online sensation as well as just a very high-level gymnast, so she is an adult. And Baby Gronk is 9 years old. And this led to the internet as well as Baby Gronk's father leaning into the idea that these two were flirting with each other, which is why the caption is Riz Game. For those that don't understand, Riz is like charisma, and it's kind of just replaced like flirting. Basically, when you're talking about Riz, you're talking about like how well you were able to communicate with a female flirtatiously, if I was to try and break it down scientifically. So to try and like spin this interaction as some kind of like romantic thing, I think is fucking awful. That shit is creepy. What in tarnation? That is a 9-year-old child. And Livy is an adult. That is so weird, especially for the dad to be leaning into that shit. Here's an interview he did about it from TMZ.
Everyone's wondering if you're the new Drip King. We got to ask Baby Gronk himself, are you the new Drip King?
Yeah.
Oh, so...
Another new wild name enters into the Thunderdome. Drip King is the name of a guy who was previously dating Livy. He called himself the Drip King. It sounds like a title that you would earn, like in the Fast and Furious universe, how they have the Drift King. But it's not. It's just some goofball on the internet called Drip King. And now, since the Livy and Baby Gronk had that meetup and people spun it as like a romantic thing, people are saying Baby Gronk's the new Drip King. And if you pay attention in this interview here, the dad walks away and you can literally hear him tell Baby Gronk to flex on them. I'll play it again just in case you missed it.
Yeah.
To me, it seems pretty clear that this is a father who was unable to achieve anything of note in his own life and is now trying to do everything possible to control his child's life to fulfill his dreams. You see this a lot in the modern landscape of things where parents use their children as props in their videos or as vessels for their own clout hunger. There is no shortage of examples for parents that try and live vicariously through their kids or try and use their kids to make money for themselves. That's something that's been happening for a long time now, and this really seems like another one of those sad cases.
So Livy, wasn't just rizzing you up for clout then?
No, I told him, if whenever you turn 18 years old, maybe you and Livy can get together and y'all can be the richest couple on the internet.
That just sounds so creepy. This is a child. Bro, your kid is a kid. There are Fortnite skins almost as old as your son. Why are you even talking like this?
Livy just convinced Baby Gronk to commit to LSU. Baby Gronk is the #1 college football prospect in the country. He averages 300 yards and 5 touchdowns a game. On his visit to LSU, Livy rizzed him up. Livy even hugged Baby Gronk. He might be the new Riz King. Do you think Baby Gronk will lead LSU to a national championship?
This is what really made the whole thing go viral. This video got posted everywhere talking about how uncomfortable it made them, saying the video made them feel schizophrenic because the dude in it is so concerningly robotic. He's like an animatronic from fucking Five Nights at Freddy's. It's just a weird video, but it's clearly by design. The guy behind it, I think, is pretty obviously making a joke out of it, like it's supposed to be satirical. But it is still an odd thing to catch on as a meme about a child and an adult like flirting with each other and convincing this kid to go to that college to play sports. Now, the stats that he vomits out there, like the 300 yards and 5 touchdowns a game, I'm pretty sure that's all just made up and baloney, just made to be silly and over the top. But even still, the dad does keep getting these celebrities and college campuses to like meet up with his son or take his son on a tour of the campus, and he makes content around that. So a lot of people really did believe that he was like getting recruited to these colleges and committing to like LSU like off rip. But that just doesn't make any sense. Just because a kid's dominating the Pee Wee football league, if he actually is, that doesn't mean that he's a good college recruit. He's 9 fucking years old. He just graduated from diapers a few years ago. There are so many things that could change on his journey through life. He could stop wanting to play football. He could stop growing. He could just, you know, decide to play with Legos for the rest of his life. Like, that would be a really awful start for recruiting. Like, I highly doubt colleges are legitimately looking at a 9-year-old as a potential prospect. Usually they'd look at, like, high school, and I guess maybe, like, middle school if there's some absolute, like, mutant football-playing god there. But that's just not even the case here. He's not even in middle school. So I think it's all just a bunch of, you know, mumbo-jumbo in order to increase the virality of the Baby Gronk brand. It's all calculated from the father, and it's all really fucking embarrassing from the dad. Everything I read from him makes me, like, dislike the dad more and more, such as him talking about how he's always had a plan for his son and it's playing out right now, which really makes it seem like he only had a kid in order to focus on one thing in particular, which was money making. He also talks about and toots his own horn about how great at marketing he is and how he really understands the internet landscape and the balance between reality and the internet world. He tries to spin it in a way where he's like a hero who's just making sure his son is set for life so he can be a millionaire as soon as possible. But it really just comes off as kind of slimy to me. But yeah, there was another follow-up video after that one went viral where it kind of, you know, exacerbated the meme even further and then even brought the Drip King into the equation.
Baby Gronk just stole Livy from the Drip King. On his visit to LSU, Baby Gronk rizzed up Livy and they started dating. They are so in love, Baby Gronk got Livy's name tattooed on his arm. Is Baby Gronk the new Drip King, or is Livy just using him for clout?
Goodness gracious. Talking about a child and an adult being in love here for the sake of the meme, I guess? I don't know. I get that it's supposed to be satire. I understand that. But it's still fucking weird, and even weirder that the father of that child is leaning into it for his kid. Talking about, you know, like, eventually they'll be dating in the richest couple in the world or whatever, and then, I guess, writing Livy's name on his son's arm? That shit is weird! It's creepy! What the fuck? I am really surprised that Livy hasn't just shut that shit down herself, been like, yep, this is creepy. Wow. But I just wanted to talk about it a little bit, because this is a meme that for some reason, or not even like a meme, like a story, I guess, because so many articles are being written about it every day now, that's just infested my Twitter feed. Like, it is all over Twitter, and I just needed to get to the bottom of what the fuck was going on, and now that I understand it, I dislike it even more. Shit sucks. I feel really bad for the kid. I legitimately do feel bad for Baby Gronk because his dad is a loser, and it feels like he's just trying to exploit his son for money here on the internet through viral fame. So that is always awful when there's a parent that does that. So I wanted to talk about it a little bit, and that's it. So yeah. The world is still being bent over and spanked by the coronavirus pandemic, but today I want to focus on an equally large and growing disease. This is one I don't believe the WHO has recognized as a pandemic yet, but it's not far off, I imagine. It's called clout chasing. We've talked about this before when I mentioned the YouTuber who was making out with his dog for internet points. There was also the man who was executed by his girlfriend at point blank range with a Desert Eagle because it was supposed to be a viral video for internet clout. This shit is wild. People are dying, people are becoming dumber, all in the pursuit of internet clout. It's an ailment that's mainly afflicting the youth because a lot of the younger generation just has their entire lives online. They just exist in the cyberspace. So they're trying to emulate YouTubers even though they only see a weekly prank video from them, so they're trying to live their life like that. They'll get all of their social information from Twitter and Reddit, so these younger people are literally being trained to be losers. Their father figure will be some Reddit shitposter named 2Beans1Cream who's giving him advice on the Red Pill subreddit. It's sad shit. These people view internet clout as like this holy grail, this elixir, near panacea, that once you achieve enough internet clout, everything is perfect in your life and you're totally healed and fulfilled. You could be the saddest, most greased up loser, but if you have enough internet clout, you're perfect. That's at least the belief that a lot of people have, which is why some so desperately dedicate their lives to getting imaginary internet points and clout. Today we're going to talk about one such person. Her name is Ava, and she is most well known for the coronavirus challenge that she started. I'm sure that video isn't new to any of you. You've probably all seen it by now, and if you've been on the internet for a long time, it's also not surprising or shocking that someone would do that. It's kind of like Goatsy. When I was young, Goatsy was like the craziest shit. Like, that's something that would make you like fucking close your eyes, puke, and just go wild. Like, oh, I can't believe I just saw that. And now all of a sudden, Goatsy, it's like almost safe for work content. Like, you could have Goatsy as a Twitter profile picture and no one would bat an eye. It's still just sad to see someone stoop that low just for a crumb of attention, just a tiny morsel of internet clout that they can try and sink their little teeth into. It's just pathetic stuff. As you can imagine, spoiler alert, the attention was so ephemeral that no one even knows her name, which is good. So the only thing people know from, or remember her for, her legacy for the rest of her life, is just going to be the fucking idiot that tasted 1,000 dirty buttholes on a plane by licking a toilet seat. That's not exactly the coolest legacy to have, I imagine, but hopefully the 2 days worth of attention was enough. The reason why I'm even bringing this up now is because I'm seeing a lot of this on Twitter especially. I've seen a couple people licking toilet seats. One of them, I believe, got arrested and the Twitter account banned. So she did actually start some shit to try and influence people to doing some dumb shit for coronavirus pranks, challenges, whatever. So I figured I'd use her as the example here to talk about just how shitty clout chasing is and what a waste of time and life it is to pursue imaginary numbers on the internet. So let's show you a little bit more from Ava.
Hi to all of you stupid skanks who know that I still don't fucking have corona. I have something though, because I think I'm coming down with something, because I just feel so hot, rich, and iconic, and if those are the symptoms of something, then bitch, I'm ill!
A real zinger from Ava there, as she continues her mission to be the most unlikable person on the internet. This is her most recent life update posted on her YouTube channel of 6,000 subs. Not the smallest number in the world, but not exactly knocking on the door to being famous, so her little clout chasing stunt didn't really pan out the results she was looking for. She tries to pull off this pseudo-ironic, sarcastic approach to everything she does and says, you know, rich, famous, and iconic. But she doesn't do it well. It just makes you dislike her even more, because she's very clearly not self-aware enough to get the joke or make it into a joke. She herself is the joke, and she just makes it clear she wants to continue to be the punching bag as long as it gets her any kind of attention, which is just super sad.
Sweaty cottage cheese ass not leaving the couch. So yeah, he's been coming over and piping me this whole quarantine. The only thing about quarantine that's making me upset is I can't go get Botox, but otherwise I'm really happy because all the restaurants are closed, so I'm getting super skinny. That's all I want to say. Bye.
It's hard to find even a single quality to admire about Ava. Her approach to pretty much anything she does is perhaps one of the worst approaches you could take. She's been on Dr. Phil 3 times, the most recent one obviously being about the Corona Challenge shit. Ava, this part's for you. You've been on Dr. Phil 3 times and your shit is still not blowing up. Why the fuck are you still trying? Internet clout is clearly not in your future. It's not in the cards for you. Dr. Phil is like the one direction for the internet. Anyone on the internet that associates with Dr. Phil blows the fuck up. Except for you. You are the outlier. The shit you say and the way you conduct yourself is so unlikable that not even Dr. Phil could accidentally find you an audience. So stop being an asshole. Let's take a look at the Dr. Phil clip.
You then went to spring break and hung out on the beach with a bunch of people.
I was fine. I made out with a bunch of people. I was not hygienic. I acted like a degenerate. My immune system was down from all the drinking and drugs. And I should have coronavirus, but I don't.
Yeah, there's just no justice in the world. She didn't get coronavirus, but I'm pretty confident in saying someone around her most likely did, and I just really hope it wasn't someone of the older demographic and susceptible to it.
And they pick up your germs. You're putting their life at danger so you can entertain yourself, and that is ridiculously selfish and ridiculously irresponsible so you can have 15 minutes of fame.
Well, that's their problem, first of all, not mine.
When I first heard this segment, I was actually convinced she was just an actress that Dr. Phil hired just to get some easy ratings or views or something. But as it turns out, this is real. This is her being genuine. She's just actually this stupid. So she's honest at least. You can say a lot of things about Ava, but let it not be said that she's shy. Because she's not afraid to come out here and show the world how dumb she is. She has no shame.
It's not their problem. You're the one that's doing it.
No, you know what's ridiculously irresponsible and selfish is that your generation only cares about this virus because it affects you. No one cares when it affects younger people. They just say it's our fault. You guys are the ones dying of it, not us.
Just an outright wrong statement, which isn't surprising because I'm pretty sure she's illiterate. Everyone's being affected by it and young people are dying from it. So, I mean, it's just wrong and she's just, again, wrong. But she does have an attitude that I've seen a lot of people on Twitter have at least, where it's just all about themselves and just whatever kind of joy they can give themselves and just throwing caution to the wind. They don't give a fuck about anyone else. And I think that shit sucks. I think that's a terrible mindset to have.
It affects boomers. If it affects young people, you guys just find a way to blame us. But yet this pandemic's affecting all of you, so you're locking everyone down and instilling fear globally.
Young people are dying from this as well. Do you even know how to spell science?
Dr. Phil had the same hunch I did, and I think that's extremely cute.
Duh. I'm a senior at Rutgers, and now I don't get to graduate. I mean, nothing's happening, which is fine. Like, it's not like I really went to class. This whole thing's a joke. Like.
So you think this is all a hoax created by Twitter? That's what you're saying?
I think, yeah. Well, one, Clout started this virus. A bunch of girls in China started eating exotic animals for views on YouTube, and I know for a fact that those bats probably do not taste good. They just wanted to shock people. And like, I get it because I'm a clout chaser myself. So this started a pandemic.
During that whole little codename Kids Next Door monologue she goes on there, I felt like it was scripted. I felt like it was just a joke put together by Dr. Phil, you know, just to farm a little bit of controversy. And I just, you know, snap my fingers and say, you got me good on that one, Dr. Phil-a-Rooney. I've been had. But again, I looked into her, and from everything I've seen, this is just her. That is how she acts, behaves, believes. That is genuinely her whole personality she put on display right there. Which made me real sad, because I thought as like a piece of reality TV, like make-believe, I thought it was pretty entertaining. But the fact that there are people that think like her, and there are people that support her, they're not super hard to find. They're very few in number, but there's a few. I think that shit sucks. I think that shit's terrible. Now, for the coronavirus challenge prank, she did clarify on Dr. Phil, it wasn't a public plane toilet seat. She said it was her sugar daddy's private plane that she bleached and then licked. I don't know how true that is, but I mean, it's neither here nor there. It's just the desperation of it alone is enough to be just truly pitiful. But anyway, I think Ava is just the poster child for what clout chasing does to someone. Her entire life revolves around it. It's just a real sad shit, really pathetic trend that I've talked about before, but with coronavirus coming around now on the internet side of things, people are taking that and using that as a platform to try and gain some quick little attention through some truly just despicable garbage like Ava did. Anyway, that's about it. So yeah. What's up everybody, it's Critical. I've finally found the saddest Twitch channel in existence. It's called Serious Gaming. Contrary to what the name will have you believe, there is no serious gaming to be found on this channel. Just serious marriage problems. There's tons of clips of these two in their failed marriage. They play games sometimes, but most of the time they just get drunk together and it leads to a very uncomfortable viewing situation. But I'm just going to show one clip today, and you can really see the disgust on the wife's face for her husband. Now, I truly think that they should be banned from Twitch, and that's only because Twitch is so fucking strict with their rules. If you fart a little too loud on stream, you might be banned from Twitch. So why wouldn't Serious Gaming get banned? This is by far the most deplorable channel on there. It's just a man and his wife constantly fighting on stream and doing anything for donations, and it sets a really bad example because their name is Serious Gaming, so some kids will come on here expecting to see some actual gameplay, but instead all they'll see are these two fucking dumpster dildos arguing. I'm gonna go ahead and play the clip now.
You're not gonna make love tonight?
No, I'm exhausted. I'm literally gonna go into bed and fall asleep right on my thing. I don't even know if I'm gonna wipe my makeup off my face.
Smooth move. It was a good attempt, a very valiant effort. His wife's just a little too tired tonight, and that very much disappoints this man. He looks like a failed cloning experiment of H3H3 Ethan. Like they tried to make their own Ethan Klein, but instead they ended up with this fucking goober.
Should I masturbate?
No, please don't talk about this on stream. Just let's not do that.
Now, I respect this move. He's trying to compromise. You're too tired for sex, that's okay. Well, how about masturbating me with your pussy? Does that work for you? The way he asks and his facial expressions make him seem like a little fucking kid who's asking his teacher an embarrassing question in class.
But on a Thursday, a Thursday,
no,
you're like, bitch, fuck me,
stop it,
everywhere.
Hey, stop it.
Right.
Now, whether or not on a Thursday she really was like, bitch, fuck me, all over everywhere, that's left up to the scientists to debate, the professionals. However, all I can say is, this man has the stupidest nipple piercing and Mickey Mouse tattoo on his titty. And the way he asks for sex is just downright pathetic, and it makes me feel very bad for him and her.
I'll just wait till tomorrow, I guess. Wow. Alright. Thank you, Vic. Alright. See you guys tomorrow when Vic's ready for me.
I appreciate the optimism here with him thinking his wife will be ready for him tomorrow. I'm pretty sure that won't be the case. I don't think she's ever going to be ready for this disgusting human being. But another thing that I'd like to point out here is that this man just looks like some kind of sad puppy dog when it comes to this sex thing. I think he's trying to shame her into having sex with him, make her feel bad. It's just downright uncomfortable to hear, and pitiful to imagine that it's actually happening in real life. This man's a human sidewalk booger, just something you look at and just go, ew, and just feel bad for.
Is Vic ready?
What's wrong with you?
Well, I mean,
You're just shaming me on the stream.
There it is, roll credits and cue Flight of the Bumblebees, that old song. That song doesn't exactly fit in this situation, but it's a good song. Now, this is truly an awful marriage on display. You can look at more clips if you want to, I just didn't want to make a super long video on it. So yeah, that's about it. See ya.